Hello, everybody. Welcome to Uneducation Station. Woo! Yeah! Woo! Okay, listen. I have a case on my phone now. It's been a long time coming, Zach.
We've been recording for 6 minutes.
Just gallivanting around. Rhino Showcase. I love Rhino Showcases. Hopefully we can get them as a sponsor of the show. I don't know if we can or not, but I haven't shot my shot yet, so who knows, And I got it to match my wallpaper, It's just, Zach, I said it before, we like to have fun here, Zach.
In the studio.
We like to have fun here in the studio, Zach, in the office,
Yeah.
And now I can just do that with my brand new phone. And I'm so happy that I am okay with doing that now. I love it so much. Rhino Shield, you're a great company. I will make Zach have a Rhino Shield case soon. It'll be great. He can have matching colored buttons.
I mean, the case that I have right now is just...
Zach, I'm trying to pitch a sponsor. You can't talk about your case.
No,
you have to see your case of shit.
No, so the reason why I have this case is just so that my phone wasn't naked. I didn't really do a lot of research into cases and all that kind of stuff. So it's basically just like a little rubber condom over my phone.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's better than nothing.
Yeah, it's better than just raw dogging it.
Then again, if I were to not have a Rhino Shield case, I would raw dog it. As you've seen, I've been raw dogging for a while.
Yeah,
and I like doing that every now and then. Because like I said, I feel more confident with holding my phone now that it's more, not a bar of soap, I guess, if you will. But it's nice. And I threw my phone over there, so I can't really show you. But I mentioned before, I told you, the back part of it. So I get the one without a back plate because okay, now I need to grab it because this is now a sponsored bid, Zach. Okay. That is not actually sponsored. Okay.
They're not paying us for this, but yeah, we're still gonna talk about them.
Yeah, just like how we drink G Fuel, they don't pay us, and we're not. The show itself is not sponsored, though I am affiliated with another organization that is sponsored. But we drink G Fuel here, and Zach has his G Fuel today. Love that. Anyways, yeah, this little back part. So this back part is clear. So this is like the naked phone, right here, and I do that because, when you put on a case, your phone just gets thicker. That's how it works. Science, I know, crazy, right? You add layers and it gets thicker. But when you add a backplate, it really solidifies that thickness with like 3 C's, maybe even 4. When you remove that back layer and you have the naked phone and you handle your phone like this, like normal phone stuff, it kind of tricks you to thinking that it's a lot thinner than it actually is.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, this leaves this whole part, the back part, unprotected for scratches and stuff, right? But for dropping it and stuff is fine. Yeah. Because the science, Zach, the bumping in the stuff and the ridges, the bumping, the ridges. Obviously, for full protection, you should get a back plate, and you can do that with Rhino Shield, not sponsored, by the way. And also there's colored buttons. I have orange buttons, and then a blue phone, and then I have a Suisse wallpaper. Love that for me, Zach. Isn't it great?
Love to see it.
Love to see it. You can just have fun with it, and you can get all sorts of colors. I'm getting more colors, Zach. We're different wallpapers. I'm just having fun with it, Zach. We have fun here in the studio.
We're just having a time.
We have fun here in the office, So I love that a lot about this case. So I'm going to continue using it.
So
I hit the light again. That was rough.
This is why we can't have nice things. So one thing that I know that we said that we weren't going to make a full episode out of today, but something I just wanted to talk about was the fact that I started watching anime.
Oh, right. Yes, you did. Good for you. He's finally done it.
I've finally gone and done it. And it's partially because I stole your Crunchyroll, but
yeah, that helps.
But yeah, I started watching Angel Beats, which...
Why? Why?
Because the way that you described it, and I legit went back and watched the episode where you were talking about it so I could figure out what it was called, because it was just like, it just reminded me, like, I wanted to watch an anime and I didn't know what to watch, and I knew that one was shorter. And so I was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. And now I'm like really emotionally invested in some of the characters, and it's just like,
oh, Zach, you've fallen into what we call around here the key visual effect. The key visual experience. Now, if you're not aware of Angel Beats, although if you're watching the show and you do like anime, you're probably, and you know me for a fair amount, you probably know it. I currently have an Angel Beats API on Twitter, and I tweeted out a bunch on Twitter. Although I didn't even do a lot of screenshots of Angel Beats, which is the rare commodity of me watching anime. I'm usually the screenshot guy, you know?
Yeah.
I'd be taking my screenshots, you know? But I just kind of wanted to experience it, if you will. Like, I didn't want to interrupt myself. I took a couple here and there, you know, when there was like a good one and it wasn't really pivotal in the, I don't know, story. I was like, oh, yeah, this is a good one. I'll take a screenshot, you know? But I didn't really take too much this time because I just wanted to relive the key visual experience, Zach. And if you don't know key visual, I think I mentioned it last episode. It's been a little bit since then, so I can't remember. But then again, you kind of can watch these episodes and our show in kind of any order you want. So someone might not have seen the last episode. You know,
yeah.
You should go back and watch the last episode and the previous episodes. Anyway, that's besides the point.
We want you to sit for 30 hours and watch our entire backlog.
30 plus hours, bro.
At this point, it's probably closer to 40 hours.
Probably. It's a good binge. So, key visual is, I guess I probably should confirm it, but I'm not going to because it's not a new show, is a developer team. Either that or they make this. Jun Maeda makes the story, so I'm not necessarily sure if Key Visuals makes the story, but they develop the games, I suppose, which is why you hear Key Visual games like Angel Beats, Charlotte, Clannad, and many, many more. And they all have the same theme. Every single one of them, Zach.
They're really fucking sad.
They're not, okay, not just that, Zach, but they trick you. As I explained, the key visual effect is there is a theme. You enter the theme immediately. It's there. And then it vanishes.
Seemingly
it vanishes. And then you return to fun and happy comedy and ha floating chair. You know?
Yeah.
And it's great. Wait, I don't think you made it there yet. Anyways, that's besides the point.
I have, yeah.
Hell yeah. And then that theme that you was introduced to you in the beginning returns at the very end. And you're like, oh, fuck. You forget the main premise of the show, of the game, of the visual novel. You forget that, oh, shoot, the original premise is kind of sad. And that is the key visual effect.
Yeah, and I've already experienced some of the key visual effect in Angel Beats because, like I said, I've seen the theme of the show kind of rear its ugly head a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been with characters that you haven't really gotten super emotionally invested in. And so it's kind of like, oh yeah, you know, this
I don't know, man.
fine.
The musician girl was like, she kind of got me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, why don't you, I know we want to have a dedicated episode, but
let's
you want to wait for it? All right,
yeah,
well, okay, we'll save it. But I'm happy that you're watching an anime. The choice you made, interesting, but hey, it is a good show. And as I explained before, for some reason, it has been people's first show, but it is on Netflix too, so that helps. And you have my Crunchyroll, that helps. There's a lot of sad boy shows on Netflix. I'm realizing this now.
Your Lie in April's on Netflix.
Violet Evergarden, which I need to finish. There's a lot of
Clannad's on Netflix.
It is. But the first season, which isn't even the sad part, that's the character development shit. So all it is 20 episodes of character development, and then they blue balls you. They're like, what did I do? What did I watch? And they don't have another season afterwards. I'm like, what the fuck? Which is an interesting move by Netflix, but whatever, I guess.
They're like, get a Crunchyroll.
Haha, it's not on Crunchyroll, Zach.
Oh.
I don't know what it's on. I have no clue who licensed it. You could find it. Or buy the Blu-ray. Because in Japan, there are still discs and Blu-rays and stuff. And believe it or not, Zach, that's actually, I read this. It's one of their like big sellers. Like whenever they selling like Blu-rays of things. Like for an anime, for example, you have the show that airs, and then the Blu-ray has extra stuff. So corrections from like, you know, because as we mentioned before, from studios when they animate. Wow, we're having an anime episode. It's been a while. We're talking about anime. We talk about all sorts of other stuff recently.
Yeah, it's definitely really cool to go back to, you know, the reason why we started this show.
But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so the anime, you know, as we explained, it's nowadays it's kind of made on the spot while it's airing weekly, you know, so a lot of it gets a little rushed, you know, and it's pretty rough. But then the Blu-ray is kind of a more refined version. Corrections and animation, extra more lines or something like that. adjusted lines, alternative things. So it's just basically like if you will, the better package, but it's packaged in a Blu-ray disc in 2021.
I mean, with movies like here in the West, they do a similar thing where they'll have the theatrical cut and then the director's cut.
Yes, that is true.
And so, I mean, that definitely makes sense for why they would do that. But Blu-ray, like, I mean, it doesn't.
It's
really
their
make
number
sense.
one seller, though. It's what makes them the most money.
Which doesn't make sense.
I read this somewhere, whether it's the internet. Reminder, this is not a new show.
God, I forget we have to say that still.
We got to say it, Zach, because if I don't say it, people are going to be like, oh, actually, I have lived in Japan I'm 19. I lived in Japan for 30 years. I've watched anime for 40 years. I'm 19, by the way. So I'm a god, and I know everything about it.
I've been watching
Nihongo.
anime for longer than you've been alive, even though I'm younger than you.
There's a lot of people that don't really understand that much yet, as far as if they're not told something, they cannot understand implication, but it's okay. You guys are great. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Blu-ray is their number one seller. If what I read is correct, of course, but and I know that is true in Japan because they do care about like CDs and stuff still, like all the music they have CDs. I mean, we do here too, but not definitely as much over there as far as like streaming goes. But it's more like, I want to say it's more collector stuff, which is a thing here too. I mean, I have one too for like Logic. There used to be a poster over there. I have one of his CDs, even though the album was like in 2019 and CDs basically have been eradicated, but it's for the same reason that people buy like vinyls and stuff, and
yeah,
the ones over there.
Yeah. Also, random side note,
Yeah.
I found out about this and I'm totally gonna buy this.
Okay.
So for Bo Burnham's Inside, his special, he has vinyl records that he's selling.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Vinyl records of the songs?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
So I'm totally gonna buy it.
and you're gonna put it over here.
Arthur, not everything that I buy is for the sake of the
Yes,
set.
it is for the sake of the set, Zach. Everything that was in the fine print that you signed in the contract in the beginning of the show. Everything I buy from this point on enters the set.
So
it's the reason why I still have your iPad, Zach.
No, it's just because I haven't brought it home. Silly goose.
But that's cool. That's cool. Will it be like a vinyl of like all the songs and yeah, I got you. I was thinking, for some reason I was thinking it was just like an audio like book version of it, and then of the show, and then as the vinyl plays, you just kind of hear the audio. That would be kind of cool though, like an audiobook version but in vinyl. But that wouldn't make any sense. Why would you do that?
Yeah, because I mean, you'd want it for the songs, and then they're just like, nah, you get no songs, you get songs, and you also get random dialogue.
Hey, that would be so cool, kind of.
I mean, basically the entire show is just one long monologue by Bo. But anyways, yeah, dude, when we were talking about a couple days ago, we were talking about how the Bo Burnham episode did really well. And that honestly surprised me.
It surprised me too.
Because I feel like that was like the most unhinged random episode.
Yeah, no, the whole episode wasn't even about Bo Burnham. Like it was like probably maybe half or 3/4 of it. But I mean, that's the sake of a podcast. I mean, that was Bo Burnham's Inside was the main theme of the episode, of course.
Yeah.
But I think what happened was just, it's relatively new. We hit the topic, entered recommended, YouTube algorithm type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what happened because as soon as I watched that episode on my channel, so not the Uneducation Station channel, but the channel that, the Anuki channel that I use, right? I started getting recommendations from other Bo Burnham stuff from other channels that weren't, I don't want to say big because, or small, I guess, if you will, because that sounds wrong. But, in comparison, I mean, we're small as well,
Yeah.
But channels like that with not the biggest 100K, 1 million views type stuff, I got recommended the other stuff,
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's interesting. So I feel like we probably got the same effect which is very interesting. And I found it funny because when I think I mentioned it too, where it was like as soon as I finished watching the special, right? It was like 4 a.m. or whatever, and I was like, the first thing I wanted to do was tweet about it, and then I was like, wow, that like shows exactly what the purpose of the whole show was. Like, because I, wanted to be on the internet and share it and stuff, and being that kind of slave to that type of thing. I was like, the first thing I wanted to do was tweet about it. I just watched Inside and feed me feed me likes, feed me. Oh yeah, that was good. Let's discuss and stuff, and that's a good thing. But like, it made me think. I was like, man, this is totally what he was cheesing about.
Yeah.
The internet.
Are we really about to make a Bo Burnham part 2?
We're not. but it is still good. Watch it. It's on Netflix. Everybody has Netflix except me.
You have Crunchyroll.
I have Crunchyroll. Better. But anyways, let's see. Anything new, Zach? Anything new recently for you? Because there's nothing new happening with me. I'm the same guy.
I mean, started going rock climbing again. That's kind of cool.
Did you take a break from it? Because
I
I know you always did it, but I didn't know you took a break from it, like a hiatus.
I mean, I just didn't really have the time for it for a while. And I just kind of couldn't be bothered for a little while.
That makes sense. I never really. Wait, I don't know where I was going with that sentence. Yeah, you were rock climbing for a bit. You're a rock climbing dude. You're like, hey, I'm going climbing. Let's fucking go. Look at this guy, Zach. Zach, he's climbing and shit.
Yeah.
Zach, my boy. But that's good. I need to exercise again, bro. Shit. I'm starting to. I sound like an old man, but I'm starting to just feel my body deteriorating sometimes.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that to I know older people much older than me. Even like 30, 40 and up, they're feeling it more. But I feel like they can attest, like once you hit 20, 21, as you start to kind of lose the youthness. Like I like to think I still have a pretty decent physique.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'd like to think I'm still pretty strong. I think a lot of it comes with, even though I don't work out very much, just with age and with the consistency that I had when I was in high school and stuff, so carries on. I may not have the body to show it, but the strength still exists, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like to think that I'm pretty fit for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to take that for granted. I'm not going to be one of those people, I feel a little fat today. And when there's people that are, having that type of thing, as whether that be a disease or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
So I would never go that far. And that opens another debate on people who like to go on diets who probably don't need diets, which I've talked about many times, but I don't know if we ever do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, I guess the reason why a lot of the hobbies that I have are so physically active is because like I need my body to be tired for me to be able to sleep. That's kind of just how my brain works. And that's the reason why I can work 12 hours a day and be okay with that, because it makes me tired.
No, that's fair.
If I can find things that tire me out in a very efficient way, then I'm like, I need to do a lot of that.
No, I agree.
Just because, I'm like a hardcore insomniac and I don't sleep very well, like at all. And so when I can find things that do make me have the urge to sleep, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. I want to continue to do said things so that I can actually like sleep.
Yeah, soundly. No, exercise will do that, Zach. I'll tell you what. Although there's also a counter of exercising making you awake.
Yeah.
Like with people who exercise in the morning, which if I want to exercise, Zach, that's going to have to be my time slot. I would have to do it in the morning. And you know how morning fares with me.
Why are you the type of person that it wakes you up?
I'm not sure, because whenever I would work out during my high school days, young Anuki days, peak Anuki days, peak Arthur, based Arthur, six pet no. It was during the day.
Yeah.
Whether that be for track practice or individual workout or strength training classes like ST, it was during the day. So I don't know how to answer that, because it didn't make me tired. I mean, exhausted, sure, but I wouldn't say it made me tired, but I would not say it made me awake. It just made me
sore.
I guess so, yeah. It was just another day. I mean, sure, I would love to just pass out after a workout. I mean, everybody would, right?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't not a sleepy pass out. More of like a fucking exhausted pass out, lay down pass out, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know the answer to that question. But I feel like it depends. Because for you, I feel like if you maybe it's a mindset thing. Maybe if you are because you're tired, if you wake up in the morning, right? You're tired as fuck. That's how it works. So if you work out, you bring that energy, you force that energy outwards, I suppose, right? You bring that energy out, and then you work out, and then you have you're full of this energy, this peak potential energy that you can use for the rest of your day.
Right.
On the contrary, if you work out in the evening, you already exerted a bunch of energy during the day, and now you're exerting the last amount of energy you have to this workout, and then now you're left with nothing else, and then you sleep. I think that, to me, that's how it works in my head, I guess, if I had to say it. It came up with that on the spot, by the way. I feel like I'm a god. What are you doing?
I'm looking at my Instagram.
Oh,
my
okay.
rock climbing Instagram.
Good for you, Zach. Oh, you have a rock? Oh, yeah, you do. That's right. Is it okay to share?
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool. Let's see it. Look at your boy, dude.
Look at your boy.
Are these recent?
No. So this is like...
Oh, wow. This dates back, huh?
Yeah. So I started this. When was this? Oh God, I can't read. February of 2019, I think is what.
Look at your boy, dude.
Look at your boy.
Young springy Zach, bro. In his A prime.
I'm still springy, just not that springy.
He's still springy, but he lost his youth. No, I'm kidding. He lost his youth,
hey, man.
But he gained a beard, so I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
That's good.
I think. Let's see. I think
I would love to go rock climbing sometime.
Dude, it's a lot of fun. Like I really, really enjoy it. It's kind of unfortunate because you can't see the bottom left corner, but
that's okay. It's all good.
But yeah, dude, it's like for me, it's always been trying to progress and get better at it.
Mm-hmm. You're doing great. Look at this is an older one, right?
Yeah, it's an older one, but I'm kind of getting to the point to where I can get back to that.
Wearing jeans?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Dude, I'm so weird.
Works out in jeans and shows up to the gym in Vans. Snaps his toe. I mean I get it. I totally get it. But it's good, because I think there's definitely a culture of like wanting to share your what's the best way to describe it? Your body, I guess. And there's two ways to look at it. One, you're just being a dick or a douchebag. And two, you want to show your progression.
Yeah.
And you can kind of do both of the same thing, but I understand a proudness to it. Like sometimes, like when I was working out and, I was noticing my body, starting to reflect that. I was like, I wanted, this is cool, and being able to see a day one and a day, whatever it may be, day X,
Mm-hmm.
It's cool to see that progression. I don't know. But then there's also this like the good morning flex tweet type stuff or something like that. And that's fine. We're having fun, we're having, Zach, we like to have fun here in the office,
Yeah.
So I understand that. But I definitely do miss working out and I definitely do miss seeing results. I wouldn't say, I like to think my body still retains the physique. And obviously not like I was back then, but I'm still pretty confident in my body for the most part. Not going to just sit here and I'm not going to take my shirt off right now, but
Yeah.
I definitely do want to work out again. It's just, I'm just a busy bee, man. It's tough. And that's why I say the only time I'm going to be able to work out is if it's in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm not waking up in the morning, Zach. So it's like, fuck, dude. Fuck. I have to really, I've been trying to. Recently, I've been setting my alarms at 7 and 9 o'clock and that type of stuff. So that way I at least get myself to be awake in those time periods.
Yeah.
So now that I can wake up in those time periods, it's more of a matter of getting myself out of bed.
Yeah.
Forcing myself to be like, okay, let's proceed. And if I can do that, because otherwise I would just sleep until whatever time it is,
Yeah.
So what if instead of like, let's say I have an alarm at 9 and then I wake up and like, okay, it's 9 o'clock. I'm like, I'm pretty all right. I can get out of bed or I can turn this alarm and go back to bed because I don't have work today. I don't have anything to do today. Well, I do have things to do today, but I'll do them at night because that's how I work. Or it's 9 o'clock. I wake up, I slap myself in the face. I splash water on myself, and then I slap myself in the face again, and then I splash water on myself, and then I slap you see, and then and then I just said, okay, fine. If I'm gonna pass out for 3 or so more hours anyways, I may as well do something. So I might as well work out. I understand that that's the mindset I need to put myself into, Zach. I need to do it, but it's hard. But also a lot of it is just I wouldn't call myself an insomniac, but I just have a hard time getting tired. So at night, I'm not tired. So I'm just, what do I do, Zach? As someone who's, not tired and in bed and nothing to do.
You watch anime.
I watch anime. Not these days. I read manga, but even more general than that, Zach, I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
And that's where the 6, 11, 12, 13, 15 hour screen on time comes from. I'm just on my phone. And it's bad. It's so bad. I know. And I call myself a power user. And I will never not be, because I'm whether you call it unfortunate or fortunate, I'm in a position where I need to be, if I need to be neat, or what's the word? I need to be available if needed to be reached.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's for everybody, but for me, it's more of an internet version.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a lot of people that rely on me for different things, whether it be for editing, anime and manga stuff, tech questions, that type of stuff, or even just advice. I don't know. I want to be available, and that means that I can never just not be on my phone, I guess. And that sounds so bad when you say it, but at the same time, this is the age of technology, so I wouldn't say it's a bad thing.
Yeah. And I mean, it's interesting because all of the people who are around our age are some type of variation of that.
Mm-hmm.
They are constantly in touch with so many different people at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm out at the skate park doing my thing, or I'm at the rock climbing gym doing my thing, those are those times where I'm like, okay, I get an allotted time or an allotted amount of time to just be able to focus on one thing and not let anything distract me from it. And that, I think, is where my enjoyment for it kind of skyrocketed, because you never really realize how much contact you're in with so many different people until you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, wow, holy shit,
The internet is crazy.
Yeah, it's really insane. And then you try to sit down and take some time for yourself, and then the only thing going through your head is, oh shit, what if this person needs me for this thing, or like, what if people are trying to reach out to me on Twitter for this reason, or what if you just kind of play the what if game with yourself. And it's really hard when you're trying to not necessarily distance yourself from the internet, but distance yourself from being so involved, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Trying to not be involved in everything that you're involved with on a day-to-day basis, it's really, really hard, especially when it comes to the internet, because it's so easy. Like, I am in like 10 different Discord servers, and I kind of had to make that conscious decision to just mute them all and just kind of pop in when I can pop in and just play a little bit of catch up and just kind of go about it that way, because there's no realistic way that I could physically keep up with all of it, because it's all just so much stuff. And especially Twitter. Like, Twitter's insane. Twitter goes hard.
Twitter does go hard, but I think you just got to be in Twitter to understand and be able to manage it, because I'm also in like an organization. I'm in a leading role. I get a lot of DMs, a lot of notifications and stuff,
Yeah.
So it definitely, to the normal average person, you're like, oh, this is kind of wild, isn't it? But for me, I'm just like, you figure it out. And for the same reason, I think TikTok is a lot, but you're like, yeah, you figure it out.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely just a matter of being in that community, being in that place in the right time, and being in there for long enough. For another thing you got to think about is like, it's kind of a little sad, a little morbid, but when I know it was for me, definitely, when you aren't very good at socializing, maybe in real life, you don't really have a lot of friends, I suppose, whatever that may be. And although I like to argue, it's better to have the good friends than more friends,
Right.
But when you're in high school, middle school, it's hard to think about that type of stuff,
Yeah.
For that time, you're worried about the magical social hierarchy, Zach.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing that is high school and middle school. And it's hard to kind of open up to things and open up to other people and talk to even your closest friends sometimes. But the internet is different. Internet, you can be yourself. Internet, you can be someone else. The internet, you can be in a Discord server and pretend to be a girl.
Yeah.
You have this kind of openness, freedom, and that also opens a more scary part of like cyberbullying and that type of stuff, and not seeing any repercussions from it. That's a different type of segment, maybe for another time. But for the person who is not very good at socializing, for the person that is not very good at interacting in the real world, the 3D world, Zach, you have the Discord and the Twitter and the stuff. And the Discord, I sound like an old man. The Discord and the Twitter, you have Discord and Twitter and all these type of SMS, I suppose. These messaging avenues, and you have Discord is literally like communities, Discord servers and stuff. You have a community of the things that you like, and with the community with that community of people things that they like as well. And I like this thing, but none of my friends in real life like it, and nobody in my school likes it, and we don't have any clubs like it, or we don't have any clubs that like it. But we have there's a bunch of this Discord server that's dedicated to it, and I can say something and everybody be like, "Oh yeah, dude," and they totally get me.
Yeah,
and that is, I think that's a good thing,
Yeah, and the fine line between too much of a good thing being a bad thing is really hard to distinguish on the internet, because there is just so much stuff out there. There are so many different Discord servers. There are so many different groups on Facebook, and different communities on all of these different social medias, that it's hard to kind of determine like how involved you realistically should be. And when you are my brain just completely lost what I was about to say. You look like you were about to say something, so I'll let you talk.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just like, it's hard to make an argument of like whether it's a good or a bad thing. Personally, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I'd say it's like 70-30. It's a good thing. The 30 part is that openness, where it could be literally anybody that you're interfacing with strangers. And I mean, in the real world, you interface with strangers too, so it's not anything different, but you also interface with strangers who don't have any moral expectations they need to meet.
Yeah.
Like in the real world. So they can be rude. They can say whatever they want, and that invites toxicity. And in some Discord servers, especially like really well maintained ones, you have rules against that, and you have moderators, and that's also a good thing. There's checks and balances. But the internet is still the internet. You can still nobody is safe. Anybody can be targeted. Anybody can be a subject to cyberbullying and stuff like that. And to someone who may not be good at socializing in the real world, they might not have the best sense of security. They might not have the best self-confidence, I suppose.
Yeah.
So they might take that too much, So it's really scary. It's hard to play with those strings. But at the same time, it's hard, right? Because at the same time, there's also very supportive people.
Yeah.
It's basically just another world. There's supportive people and hateful people in the real world, and there's supportive people and hateful people in the internet. They're two different things. But they both act in the same way. They have their own different type of lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess the hard thing for me is when you see those people who get very very emotionally invested in things that are going on, or like things that other people are posting, things that other people are saying. And that could be anything from being like a diehard Bieber fan, or it could be something as simple as like someone posting pictures of their tattoos, for example, and then there's just like a string of hate, and it's just like completely unnecessary. Or like talking about a show that you enjoy, and then people just shitting on it, like,
oh geez, Zach. Oh geez, you gotta open that
just for the sake of shitting on it. And like it's really, you have to be very conscious of what you put on the internet, because there are going to be people out there who will just sit there and try to shit on you just for the sake to shit on you.
I think for that matter, and this is funny you bring it up because, yeah, it's all good. It's funny you bring it up because I literally talked about this yesterday on my stream, this exact topic. The anime part though, the part of waifu wars, the part of liking your show and then other communities berating it because they're what's the word? Fascists of their own anime,
Mm-hmm.
it's this whole like World War type thing of like what shows you like and what shows are quote unquote good or bad. Everybody likes their own show, so they take their community and berate the other communities. It's like, what the fuck is happening? This is literally World War.
Mm-hmm.
So I say nay to that, Zach. Like a horse. What do gay horses eat, Zach?
Hey,
horse cock. I think that. Sorry, I had to break the weird, awkward atmosphere stigma that we had going on here. We like to have fun in the office. I don't know why I've been saying that all day. We like to have fun here, Zach. Here's the thing, and I feel like we talked about this in the in the show. Maybe no, we talked about this in the Demon Slayer episode because we're talking about normie anime and stuff like that, right?
Mm.
And I'll say it again because I feel strongly about it. We live in a world, Zach.
We live in a society.
We live in a society where a lot of people they think that their opinion means more than it actually does to other people. And what I mean by that is not against anything like, freedom of speech. You can have opinions, Zach.
Yeah.
That's fine. Onions are for everyone. I have my opinions. You have your opinions. My mom has her opinions. My dad has his opinions. PewDiePie has his opinions. I don't know why.
Onions.
Onions. A lot of onions, And that's fine. What that doesn't mean is that you are allowed to take your opinion. You can take your opinions and you can shove it against mine and we can joke about it.
Yeah.
That's fine. But you can't cross the fence of taking your opinions and saying they're better than mine.
Yeah.
In like a ranking type of way.
Right.
In an almost objective type of way, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say the part where it starts to get really interesting is when people are unable to agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I may agree with a lot of things, but there are a lot of things that we kind of just acknowledge that we don't agree with. Like, for example, tattoos and piercings. Like, I'm like, hell yeah. And then you're like, nah.
I think they're cool, but I don't know, not for me.
Yeah. And that's totally fine. And like, I've had plenty of conversations with my parents about piercings and tattoos. And, because of the way that they were raised, the era that they grew up in, they see tattoos in a different light than I do. And we've kind of come to that mutual understanding of it's okay for us to disagree on this thing because it's not going to change the way that we interact with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like that concept has started to fade over the course of the last little while. Honestly, I think that social media has really put a magnifying glass on that, because you will see people sitting there and arguing over morals and ethics and like, the characteristics of people, and they're like, you're wrong because you feel this way about this thing. And it's like, well, I'm not wrong and you're not wrong. We are both right.
Yeah, we're both right.
We're both right, but it's just we see the world through a different lens. And I feel I'm gonna go on a little bit of a tangent.
Let's
if that's
go.
okay.
Here
I was thinking about
Zach's Corner.
Welcome back to Zach's Corner.
Welcome back to Zach's Corner. Welcome back to Zach's Corner. Ba-da. It changes every time. I don't know.
So, on this episode of Zach's Corner,
I love it.
So, I was actually thinking about this while I was in the shower, as most.
As the best thoughts always come from.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's only in the shower.
I told you, Zach. That's why I always write down my shower thoughts. That's why I take my phone in. Just gotta be careful. Well, it's okay. My phone's waterproof. We're chilling.
Water resistant.
Oh, you're right.
So I was sitting thinking about this because it's really frustrating when you, and I'm not gonna get into this very much, but I'm just gonna kind of breeze over it, and just kind of like not get involved. Because we are talking on the internet and it is kind of scary.
Okay, here we go.
So whenever the topic of politics or religion or anything like that comes up, that's when like I said, I'm not going to get involved. I'm just going to breeze over it. Because I know better.
Some people don't.
See, I know better than to say anything other than just like the bare minimum about these things. So when you hear people talking about these really controversial topics, the reason why they're controversial is not necessarily because of the content of these topics. Because when you talk about religion or politics, there's two sides of it. Well, politics is a little bit more complicated than that, but like I said, not going to get into it.
Not a news show.
Huh?
Not a news show.
Not a news show. Not a news show. This is just my onion, my opinion. When you talk about, the topic of religion, for example, there's people who believe in said religion and people who don't. And it's okay for you to be on either side of that. And there are reasons why people believe a certain religion, and then there's reasons for why people don't believe in religion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. The way that I go about my day-to-day life in this floating rock in the middle of space can be entirely different from you or anyone else, and that's fine. Like I'm not going to sit here and try to shove religion down somebody's throat who doesn't believe in it. Or, I'm not going to sit and try to push my political biases towards someone who doesn't think that way, because I see the world differently from you do. I see the world through a different pair of eyes than really anybody else, because the people who you interact with, the environment that you grew up in, the household that you were born into, all of these different things, and even people in the same house can believe two entirely different things, and that's totally fine. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us different, is that we all see the world a little bit differently. And when there's a point of contention where people are trying to convince you that what you're thinking is wrong, that's when it starts to get really complicated and really malicious, because you're trying to have a conversation about something and then it turns into a contest of who's right and who's wrong. And I have conversations with my dad all the time about like religion, about just like a whole bunch of different controversial things. And it's a really, really interesting and enlightening conversation because he's not trying to convince me of anything. I'm not trying to convince him of anything. It's just us both bringing different ideas to the table, bringing different experiences to the table, and both of us wanting to learn and grow from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And as I've gotten older, I've started to see more and more of the benefits of talking to people who you don't agree with, but people who are open-minded to different ideas. And there's a difference between presenting ideas to somebody and convincing them that your ideas are right.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I talk to people who are politically opposite from me, I'm not trying to convince them that they're wrong, because a lot of the things that they're bringing to the table are right. And when you talk about morals and ideals of individual people, there's no way that we can all unanimously agree with one thing when it comes to different morals. Because like I said, everybody's different. Everybody sees the world differently. Everybody has a little bit of a different opinion on each individual problem. And when you can get to that point to where you can have a group of people that all were raised in different types of households, they were born into different types of generations, they were able to experience the world in drastically different ways. And when they are all open-minded to the idea that there's other things to learn, there are other things that you can do to grow and become a better person that could come from people who are opposite from you and have seen the world differently from you.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you can have the really, really interesting conversations. And that's when I have the most fun with it, because I'm not going to say you're going to have a dick measuring contest with somebody who doesn't know what the hell they're talking about, because when it's driven by emotion, when an argument is driven by emotion, you've already lost, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's only so many things that you can do to emotionally just kind of like pick at somebody.
Yeah.
And I don't like arguing with people. I like just being able to talk and being able to discuss different things and make it so that at the end of the day, after everything's said and done, they understand and I understand. It's okay for us to see the world differently, and it's okay for us to not agree with each other. Like, just because I don't agree with something that you do, that doesn't mean that I don't agree with you as a person. There's just certain things that, you know, a lack of experience, a lack of having the right information, or the lack of, I don't want to say the lack of understanding, but, you know, there are certain things that, you know, you haven't experienced yet. I haven't experienced yet. There are certain things that people who are of the older generation, you know, like my parents, they've seen these things, they've experienced these things, and I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they feel a certain way about something, there's a reason behind it. When you feel a certain way about anything, there's a reason behind it. And once you start to understand that reason, that's when you really start to understand why they feel that way and how you can learn from that and how you can learn from them. Anyways, that was my rant. Zach's Corner.
Zach's Corner. Boom.
But yeah, it's really frustrating when you just see people bickering and arguing all over the internet. And it's just about the stupidest shit.
I understand, Zach. I've been in the internet too with you. I totally get it. It's a lot of people just like to argue. A lot of people like to debate, you know? If they care so much to join the debate team, have a time. I'm sure they will suddenly realize their words are not as powerful as they think they are, because they will get shit on by actual people who know how to debate. You know, their empty words are not going to defeat the facts that get presented in a debate argument, you know?
Yeah.
Or debate discussion. I like how you brought up discussion versus argument, because they're two very different things. And I think an argument is a subcategory of discussion.
Yeah.
I think you can discuss agreement and argument, but argument is a little There's playful argument, and then there's just arguments at the end of the day end up just being opinionated. That's what the point of it is, an argument. A discussion is still opinionated, but you kind of are not disagreeing with one or another. You're not, I mean, you may disagree. Oh, sorry, not disagree. That's not the right word. You will disagree with one another, but it's more of inputting that knowledge to affect your knowledge at the end of the day, like you mentioned.
So the way that I think about the difference between an argument and a discussion is the comparison of ideas, whereas an argument is a competition of ideas.
I like that.
Because when you're discussing different things with somebody who has different ideas, there are things that you can bounce back and forth. Like, I don't know if I really agree with that, but I will hear your point and I will understand why you think that way and why you feel that way. Whereas an argument is, this is why I'm right and this is why you are wrong. When you boil it down to its simplest form.
No, that is. It is. I mean, there's a leeway here and there, but that is what it is. Zach, English major here. I'm not, but you know, Zach, I might have taken honors English too, so you know the vibes. Why did counter arguments in your papers, you know?
Yeah.
If you are doing an argumentative paper, you need to propose a counter argument to show that you're not just offloading a bunch of I mean, it may be facts, but if you don't have an opposing opinion to support your own argument, then it's just, there's no backing to it. I can spit as much as I want, but then it just sounds like me voicing my own personal vendetta against another opinion if I don't bring it up, if I don't understand where the other side is coming from.
See,
that gets lost in Twitter, Zach, and that gets lost in social media. There is no counter argument. You just keep fauceting out bullshit.
See, when you're able to compare two things using logic and factual information, and you're able to support your argument with those things, and you bring up a counter argument like, oh yeah, you know, the blah 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 clouds are made out of marshmallows. Whatever, you know, some people say that clouds are made out of marshmallows, but that's bullshit. You know, here's why. When you're able to bring up that counter argument and it doesn't end up drastically affecting the way that you are able to portray your argument in said paper, in said discussion, then there's information that you're missing. Because I'm glad that you brought up those argumentative papers, because I wrote a lot of them.
Oh, yes, as we all have.
As we all have, you would hope. And so
maybe not. I don't know. I guess they stopped doing those. Who knows?
I don't know, man. Maybe some people got upset about that. But when you have a topic or you have a side that you're trying to portray for anything, whether it's science, history, medicine, whatever it may be, science and medicine are kind of the same thing, but I'm just gonna roll past that.
Hey, that was a slippery slope you just rolled past, bro. Holy moly.
Well, medical science. Anyway,
be careful.
I know. So when you have that side that you are trying to portray, and it is without a doubt, with all of the information that you've gathered and that you can gather, there's no doubt in your mind that this is right. And then you bring up counter arguments that, you know, other people are saying, other people are believing, other people are trying to convince you of, and you know without a shadow of a doubt that I've done my research. I know that I'm not talking out of my ass. This is 100% factually right. And you've done the research. You've looked in the right places to be able to make sure that the information that you're getting is accurate. Then it doesn't matter what the other people are saying. You know, like it doesn't matter what anyone's potential counter argument could be, because you've already sealed the deal. You won the argument before it even started, because you did the due diligence to make sure that you understood what all this what it encompassed in a way. But when you don't do that, and then someone brings up a counter argument that's like pretty fucking close to right, and you're like,
oh shit,
you're an asshole.
And it's like you, the classic, you know? Yeah. You know what the counter argument in Twitter is, Zach?
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Quote tweet, fuck you. Brings his followers. Yeah, fuck this guy. And then that guy brings his followers. Oh, fuck you. And that's how arguments go, Zach.
Yeah.
In online, in Twitter, in anything. That's how it works.
In COD lobbies.
In COD lobbies. Well, COD lobbies is different. If you try to get political in COD lobbies, you fuck off, bro. What are you doing? I think, okay. Here's another example, Zach. What if you get an argumentative paper on something you are not agreeing on? Because sometimes you don't have a choice. That opens a different window because now you are forcing yourself to look at the viewpoint of someone else, of other people, of something you don't agree with personally. And now you have to prove that they are right. And what that does, Zach, that sounds counterintuitive. Why would you do a paper that you don't agree on? Sometimes you have to. Sometimes it's for essay purposes, right? But what that does is forces you to look in, like you said, the lens of another person and see everything that you read up on it, you watch videos, you articles and stuff, papers, reports, all that type of boring study shit that honestly I fucking hated doing, but you got to do it anyways because you wanted to be right on a subject, on an opinion, on an argument on the side of an argument that you personally don't agree on, but you look at you figure out why the other party agrees with it.
Yeah, and another thing too is that you are able to bring up your side as a counter argument.
Mm-hmm.
And the nice thing is when you are able to take a backseat, like your emotional bias, your own opinion, you can take a backseat and just present factual information. That is probably one of the best ways for you to learn more information. And like, dude, I have gone down so many different rabbit holes about so many different things that I just thought was absolute bullshit. And I was enlightened by the fact that it wasn't. And it was interesting. It was fascinating because when you do the research and you do the due diligence of looking in the right places for this information, you will find a lot of things that you wouldn't necessarily expect. And I think that that's probably one of my favorite parts about learning more about things that I don't necessarily agree with.
That's a good thing about internet though, because you have this access to all these type of things now. The internet it's just a big mess of good and bad, It's just like, it's a massive wealth of information. It's just it's in a Google search. That thing right there, Zach, it's right there. Well, that's images, but it is right. Where's my mouse? It's right there. Shut up. It's here. We search things and we obtain information. Whether it's about a character in an anime or it's about World War II, it's right there. And not only that, not only just blog posts, but also studies. Both of them. You get the best of both worlds. You get opinionated facts, and you get opinionated personal ideas, and you get factual ideas. That's awesome. Also, the internet, though, is a bunch of bullshit that you have to understand. You have to bob and weave. And if you're not smart, there's classes like that, Zach, to weave through bullshit, because a lot of people aren't very good at it. Unlike you and I, there's links that are scary, and how do you recognize that? We look at an email that looks legitimate, and we're like, no, that's bullshit. But to the untrained eye, to the probably 50% of the population, they're like, oh, that's a legitimate email from Amazon. And we're like, nah, bro, this is fake as fuck.
Yeah.
This is fake as fuck.
I love that you brought that up, because that's another conversation that I had with somebody else not too long ago. Oh, it was with my coworkers. I was sitting and talking to them about like scams on the internet, man, and like spam calls and like all that kind of stuff. And it's all encompassing, dude. It's like, when you start to understand that not everything can be taken at face value. Like, and I think that is like the TLDR of a lot of the things that we're talking about is that you can't take any information that is given to you at face value, because there's always going to be some type of bias one fashion or another. There's always going to be something that could potentially be wrong. There are so many different ways that person could have just absolutely fucked up what they told you. And so when you're able to bob and weave around the bullshit, like you were saying, and you're able to get to the nitty gritty of everything that you're trying to learn, and it's all about learning, dude. It's all about the desire to learn more information. And I think that's something that is kind of lost, because, you know, people dude, people don't know what it's like to have to look something up in a fucking dictionary, dude.
I know, dude.
And I say that when I'm still really young. Like, you and I are at the tail end of brick and mortar, in that regard. But like, dude, having to look something up in a fucking thesaurus is the most aggravating thing ever. But that's how it used to be done. That's how you used to have to be able to find that information. But now it's just one little tippity tap away, and then you're able to find
the
like
boomer talk, Zach. The boomer talk.
I know.
The boomer talk. These kids don't know how to use maps. Paper maps. They would never know back in the day, back when I used to walk
uphill both ways.
Before we had cars, I rode horses.
Dude, no, but
I know what you're saying. Listen, frankly, as we age on, old technology is going to disappear, and that's just factual. So I feel like that not what you're presenting is incorrect, but it's more like they should still understand how it worked, I guess. Yeah. We use Google Maps and Apple Maps if you're a pussy, and, you know, all that type of stuff, you know? And obviously it's GPSing and it's telling us what to do, but I think you and I can understand that it's just a glorified map, and we can read it for the most part. It might be a little more simplified, but frankly, I think it's better, because if you're the one driving, and I feel like having to pay attention to a very busy road map with all sorts of information might be too distracting, and also illegal to do while you're driving. Right. So I think the convenience of technology has made things a lot better. So that way I don't have to, if I want to search up how to spell a word, I don't have to. I'm flipping an imaginary dictionary right now. Here we go. I can just start typing the word. There we go. I spelled it wrong, and there it is. Ditcoin 4. It's right there, Zach.
It says Ditcoin.
Dipshit. It's right there. Or I can do this. Okay, maybe not here. Maybe not in this interface, but if this was on Twitter or something, I right-click the red text or the red squiggly lines on Google Docs, Zach. I right-click the red squiggly lines.
Oh, okay, never mind.
That was not it. No. I think if it was something else, it tells me, oh, this is actually wrong, and I think I know that's a good thing, but that you have to be careful, because now the information of being able to find it is lost. But I don't know. It's hard to say whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. And, you know, we just explained there's good things and bad things for everything. It all depends on viewpoint. It all depends on how you look at it. But I don't think it's just this. It's ironic that us who grew up with internet is better at the internet than the people who are born into the internet. Why is that the case, Zach? Why can I diagnose an issue that's not even like hardware or software related, like something so simple, to like someone's laptop of someone who's a Zoomer, you know? Like why is that the case, Zach? Why is that the case? Why can I tell the difference between a scam and not a scam email when a Zoomer can't?
Dude, it's so funny, because I remember back in the early aughts, back in the early 2000s, my dad would sit there and tell me like, oh yeah, you know, you need to be like, this is when I first got my first email, which I was just about to say what it was, but I think it's still like an active email, and so I'm not gonna I'm not gonna open that rabbit hole. But he would sit there and tell me like, I would get an email and I asked my dad about it, and he's like, oh, you need to be careful about such and such and such and such. And of course I made my mistakes. I opened my sketchy links. I've gotten malware on my computer.
Man. Yeah.
You know, and this is back when I was probably too young to be using the internet at this point in time. But now it's interesting because I'll hear stories about the same generation of people who are sitting there telling me not to respond to scam emails, to not pick up spam calls, to like not do any of that stuff. They're the people who are getting scammed through these emails, through these phone calls. And I'm like,
what happened here?
That's ironic.
It's, oh man, I don't want to say that my congenital catchphrase, but it's hard, Zach. It truly is, and it's something that the fact that we have to actually have classes, even college classes, on how to navigate through internet bullshit. And to us, it's so innate, it's so normal, it's so natural to just like understand. I can read a tweet and be like, this is so fucking stupid. And here's the thing, Zach. While I say this, I'm not even trying to say that I be spitting facts. I mean, I do be spitting facts, but I'm not even trying to say that you have to agree with me. If I make a tweet, and I mentioned this before, I've been doing like mini review kind of types of tweets on kind of tech things. You know, like when the new NZXT case came out, which y'all know how I feel about that. The Flow case that has airflow now, which is really cool. I don't know if you've seen it. Mm-mm. It's basically just the 510 that you have, but the front panel is now just air. It's perforated.
Oh, cool.
So it's airflow, yeah. But it's about 125% more money than the nut. It's like $110 for the same case, but with holes.
But with less material.
But it's double the price, almost. And you can get the same thing. And then, so what I did was, okay, I stated my opinion, right? I said, hey, new NZXT case, it's cool. I'm glad they're finally making the move to better airflow. But it costs a little too much. That's a little unfortunate. Maybe it'll go down in price eventually, or maybe they'll refine it and make a new version that's a little less expensive. But for now, it's not a good value. Here are some alternatives. And then I present some alternatives, their good points on it, and their prices. Cool. I did a good thing. Now you look at my tweet, Zach. You are the guy. You are some dude that you're average guy 1 at average Joe number 2 on Twitter. Follows me, sees this tweet, and you're like, okay, cool. Do not, pointing at you, Zach. Do not then go to my recommendations and just go buy them, even though I said to. Do not. I want you, well, on my sleeves now, to look at those recommendations and then do further research, because who said that I was right? Nobody said I was right. I'm not even saying I'm right. Who knows? I think I'm right because that's my own personal opinion. But I never said I was right. Nobody said I was right. I don't have any certification. This isn't a case study. I don't have
literally a case
study. Shut the fuck up, Zach. Don't ever, Jesus Christ. I hate you. Enough. Listen, I did not get this tweet scientifically certified by some sort of scientific laboratory. You know? So if I say, hey, this case sucks, buy this case. Don't go, all right, cool. Go on Amazon, purchase. No, bad, Zach, bad. Who am I? Do I have a PhD flopper on cases?
No,
I'm just a Twitter user. I just be on Twitter, Zach, and I express my opinion. That is what Twitter is for. You express your opinion. That's it. I'm not expressing anything more than that. You are not meant to take what I tweet in face value. You are to take it and to think about it and to ponder it and to say, is he right? Is he wrong? I'm not sure. Maybe I should go on Google on my second tab, my second Chrome tab, and search it up and see if I agree with him.
And you want to know what's nice about that? There are hundreds, if not thousands, of reviews on said thing. So, dude, and like,
you can watch YouTube reviews on this stuff now, Zach. You know what we did before, Zach? We read articles and blogs.
Okay, and
spec sheets.
Dude, and when you see something that you think is bullshit, that you don't agree with at all, that you just think, wow, that's really fucking stupid, move on.
You can scroll past. Now, if I am, okay, it depends, right? Okay, if I am, I don't do this personally because you already know how I feel about it, but let's just say I am I am an anime fascist on my... Sorry, I'm calling them that now, Zach.
Bro, you almost made me spit out my G Fuel. Holy shit, that was funny.
But it was good, so he proceeded to swallow it.
Good G Fuel.
Good G Fuel. Anyways,
not sponsored.
Imagine I am the typical Western anime Twitter fascist, right? And I love my anime so much that I make a tweet about how much I love my anime. That's great, okay? Anybody can do that. Mm-hmm. That's fine. And then I proceed to also say how much other animes are shit and why your waifu is shit. You know what that is, Zach? What we call this in the space? We call that bait. That's bait. I just want interactions. I want to see my tweet analytics be flying, Zach. I want to see my impressions go up. I want to see the likes and the retweets. I want to see the replies. I'm not even going to reply to them. I just want them. I want this type of self-value that makes me happy. Because I don't have anything else going. I'm just joking. I don't have anything else going for me. No, okay? I've done the same thing to an extent, of course. Not with that type of content, but it's just how it is. We're humans. We see numbers. It goes up. We are happy. So when you are given the unfortunateness of, I don't know if that's a word, use it, the unfortunateness of being able to see numbers for your own things, that's rough. You've looked at our YouTube studios. You looked at all sorts of analytics. They're scary, and they make you either feel good or feel bad. And that can determine how you feel for the rest of the day, the rest of the month, the rest of how you feel about your content. And that's terrible. And it is good information to look at, but unfortunately, not a lot of people are socially are not strong. Do not have enough willpower and strongness in their heart to say, okay, maybe this is right. I should fix this. No, they're like, man, I'm shit. That is how internet goes. Now then, let me return to my point that I was making because I ended up tangenting. I make my shitty take on anime or whatever. I like my anime. Your anime is shit. I like my waifu. Your waifu is shit. And now you don't even follow me. But because Twitter is so amazing, you don't have to follow me to see my content, to see my tweet. As long as someone that you follow follows me, you will see that tweet. So now you're sounds stupid. Now you're scrolling and you see my tweet. And I called your anime shit. I baited you. You're going to reply to that. You know what you can also do, Zach? You can keep scrolling. You can scroll past. You can block me. You can mute me. And you will never have to see it again.
So I'm gonna say this real clearly and real loud for the people in the back.
Here we go, Zach. Let's hear it.
If you see something that you are not a fan of, that kind of tickles your pickle, that sounds really bad.
The opposite of that. I think tickle your pickle is a good thing.
Yeah, it really
that bunches
really,
your panties.
Yeah, ruffles your feathers. Similes. And you don't know what to do with this information, right? You're like, what am I supposed to do about this little shitlord who's telling me that Your Lie in April was a really shitty show? Move on. Scroll. You have thumbs that were made for scrolling on Twitter. Fucking move on, please. Like, no. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but no one cares. Like, honestly, I do not care if you disagree with the shows that I like. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that your show is shit because I probably haven't watched it. But like, dude, there's no fucking point in just sitting here and bickering about this arbitrary thing, this caricature of a story, right? Like, oh, this TV show is really good. I recommend this show. That's entirely different from this show is the best show that's ever been made. Demon Slayer is the best anime that's ever been created. Every other anime is shit, and you can't tell me otherwise. Like, go fuck yourself. Like, dude, I don't understand. Okay, by the way, that was an example.
I fished out the Zach that I've been looking for. Let's fucking go. I love when I do this. Imagine, Zach, you're on Twitter, Zach, you're on Facebook, you're on whatever, and you're scrolling. You are user A. You use Sony, you use Canon cameras. You go by and you see average Sony guy 2. Say, Canon is shit. If you use Canon, you're a pussy. You have 2 options, Zach. What are your 2 options?
I could be like, fuck you, pussy, your photos are shit. You don't even know how to use your camera that costs $4,000, piece of shit. Or move on. Just
beautiful.
Just fucking move
just
on.
Scroll
with your
past.
life. Dude, like,
you don't even have to block them. You don't even waste your thumb movement on doing any more action on them. Just proceed.
Dude, and
that much energy to press buttons to block or mute them might not even be worth it, Zach, on their existence. What are you doing? Like, it's that easy,
dude. Oh my god,
you know how easy it is, Zach?
Dude, I cannot tell you how many times I will be sitting there scrolling on my socials and I'll just see the most outlandish shit and I'm like, okay, and then I'll just fucking move on. Like,
I don't know.
There's no point.
I don't know what gets these people, my age, younger age, older age, to just want to fight back. Do you ever just look at replies to tweets or to any content sometimes? You're like, why did you even waste your time typing this? You know he baited you to do this. Like, it's so obvious. Why? What? Or even if he, okay, even here's another one, Zach. Okay, this is great. I love this. This is great. Let's say I don't do a tweet like that. Let's just say, hey, I made a tweet. I like Your Name. I just watched it. It's a great movie. Now, what possesses someone, Zach, to see that tweet and go, fuck this guy. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to reply to him. I'm going to take 2 minutes out of my day to type out, no, fuck you. This movie was shit. Why would you even say such a thing? You're terrible. Fuck you. And your family, I guess, too. Fuck you. Fuck all of y'all. For what reason did you need to do that? If you didn't,
there is no reason.
There is no. What possesses you?
There's no reason.
Why? Why? Why did you just? If you don't like Your Name, then you don't like Your Name. You scroll past. You know how many? There's shows that I don't like. There's movies that I don't like. There's types of things that I don't like, and there are things that my friends like. There's things that people that I follow like. Yeah, I'm not telling them, bro. No, this is so stupid, bro. Come on, bro. Why am I following you? Why are we friends?
Arthur, I do one of the most controversial things in action sports. I ride scooters, okay? I have heard so much shit about people who ride scooters by people who don't even understand why they hate it so much. Like, I will sit there, like, I'll be at a skate park, right? Just me doing my thing, being 10 feet in the air and shit, living my best life, right? Having a time, having a go. And then, there'll be this kid who's like, what's up, scooter? And I'm like, why do you not like scooters so much? And he's like, because they're for pussies. And I'm like,
not his words, by the way.
Yeah,
not
no,
Zach's words.
Not my words. These are other people have said this to me. So then I'm like, why do you feel that way? And he's like, because they're all a bunch of snakes, and they don't know where they're going, and they always ruin the skate park. And I'm like, So the 5-year-olds that are on little razor scooters are the reason why you don't like me as a 21-year-old who is 6'3" and rides a scooter that is gigantic. I'm rarely in anybody's way. I rarely ever do anything to piss anybody off because I know what it's like to almost die from like a 5-year-old on a scooter because it's happened to me. I understand. Why are you taking it out on me? I am the last person that needs to hear this kind of shit because it doesn't apply to me. Like, you know?
I'm not even in the I was. You're all the way in this corner of the room. I'm over here. Why did you pull me in? I'm just eating chips in the party, bro.
I was in a different room.
Like, I wasn't even in the neighborhood, Zach. Why did you bring me here?
How did I get involved in all of this shit literally for no reason? It's like, it just doesn't make sense. And then on the other side of that, like, you know, I'll just be chilling, living my life at the skate park, whatever. Skate park is a great example because that's where you find the best and the worst people. And so I'll be hanging out with these guys who are on skateboards and, you know, just kind of chilling out. I'm just vibing with them. They're just vibing with me. And they're like, you know what? You're a pretty cool dude. And I was like, thanks, man. You're a pretty cool dude. They're like, not really a huge fan of the fact that you ride a scooter, but you're still a chill dude. I'm like, I'm not a huge fan of the fact that you ride a fucking skateboard, but that doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I just spat. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Like, bro. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one and they all stink.
Wow. That's great.
I've been wanting to say that this entire episode, by the way.
There you go.
But
you just quoted.
It just doesn't make any sense to me, bro. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me why people become so emotionally invested in things that have nothing to do with them.
People just like to argue.
I don't understand it. Like,
people, how can someone, how can you like care that like I like to think that I care about things a lot more than other people care about because I think too analytically about things sometimes.
So do I.
You know?
Arthur, you spent like 2 weeks researching an air conditioning unit.
Why do you always bring that up, Zach?
Because it's a perfect example of your attention to detail and your willingness to do research on everything.
I know.
Which is a good thing.
Now, Zach, how come after this point am I not some sort of air conditioning fascist?
You are the all-seeing eye for people who are looking for air conditioners. You are the only source.
No, I never said that.
No, I'm making a joke.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
It's like, dude, it doesn't make any sense. And like, the more that we talk about it, the more it just kind of irks me because you understand.
I feel like what we're saying makes so much sense.
It does.
It's so simple.
So much sense.
Why is it such a hard thing to comprehend? The fact that nobody cares what you think. Nobody has to care what I think. If I say the NZXT 510 is shit, what does that mean to you? You have a NZXT 510.
It means nothing.
It means nothing to you. Who cares what I think? That's the case that you went with. Good job. You thought for yourself. Good job, Zach. Yeah. So what? No. Okay. Here we go. Okay. I said I don't like the 510. You like the 510.
Okay.
You got the 510 anyways, despite you knowing that I don't like it. Now, do you have to tell me that, you know, I got the 510? Fuck you, Arthur. Do you have to verbally tell me? Do you have to let me know, like, right, like, as, do you want a fucking medal, Zach? That you bested me, that you said not to do this. I did it anyways.
Well, okay, the extent, and I mean the furthest extent of what I would do or say is, so I ended up getting the 510. It's not that bad. It's not a bad case. I like it. I think it looks pretty cool. End of conversation. Period. That is it. That is all. I'm not even talking to you. I'm talking to them. That is it. That is all you have to do. Fucking people are like, oh, you know, G Fuel isn't that great. You know, freaking Glitch or whatever is so much better. Like, no one fucking cares. Don't buy G Fuel. Buy whatever you want. If you say, like, oh, I don't like Apple, I'm going to buy a Samsung. buy a fucking Samsung. Like,
why do you have to tell me? Why do you have to tell me?
Why do you have to make it every single other person's problem because you believe that something is better than another thing? Like, I have a Samsung. Wow. Oh, so fancy. And
You're
Arthur has an iPhone.
It's over there. I threw it.
It's on the ground.
Imagine I have it right here.
No one fucking cares. So it's like, it does not matter. It does not matter how you feel about something. It should not dictate the way that you interact with other people. Just because you believe a certain way, you prefer a certain thing, that does not mean jack diddly shit when you're interacting with the rest of the world. What I do in my free time is me. You told me not to get a mixer. I bought a mixer because I found a really cool deal. And you're like, hell yeah, dude. You do you, boo-boo. And it's like, that's the end of the conversation. Like, you talk about specific brands. You talk about specific companies and everything. It's like, there are so many different things out there because everyone prefers something a little bit different. And it's so hard for some people to wrap their head around that because it's like the Shure SM7B fucking argument all over again. You're using an SM57. I'm using a fucking $90 mic that you found.
Not even, it's like 67.
Yeah, it's like $70. This mic sounds great. That mic sounds great. You have a really nice mic over there that they can't even see. I'm gesturing at nothing.
There. I bought a 320. Oh God, that was great. Dude, what did they put in this G Fuel? Why are we so angry? What did they put in here? This
cocaine.
BlackBerry has cocaine in it. That mic right there, over there, Zach, over there.
Uh-huh.
I bet you 95 billion %, that's not a fucking percent, of people who be live streaming on Twitch probably never even heard of its existence. You know? They probably have only seen the Shure SM7B from their favorite streamers. Bro, fucking, I think PewDiePie has that mic, actually, now that I think about it.
Actually, I'm pretty sure Jacksepticeye has that mic too.
Hell yeah. So, and it's like, it's a good mic. And I got it renewed for $100 off. It's a $300 microphone. So for that deal, for that much money, you're like, oh shit, okay, so I'm getting to this type of big ballin', big boy type shit category. This big ball dick swinging type category, right? This is endgame mic type category, right?
Yeah.
This might be the last mic I ever buy type category. And I got it for $100 off renewed. Let's fucking go. It's a great deal. And I think that the Shure SM7B is a good mic for me personally because of the way I feel like it is a darker tone, and I think it fits more with the type of voice that I have, especially since when I stream at night when I'm super fucking tired, you know, and that mic over is really sparkly, and you know it brings out the more naturality, the smooth, the butterness of my voice, and it's great. It's pleasant to listen to.
Brings out the nice. The high ends, the trebles,
the trebles and the stuffs. You know, it's great. Yeah. It's a fantastic microphone. So is the Shure SM7B. What the fuck? Did I say the Shure SM7B was bad, Zach?
No.
At what point, Zach, did I ever say that it was bad? So much of the fact that I didn't buy one. Did I ever say, "Hey, man, hey, you bought a Shure SM7B? Yeah, I bought a Shure SM7B. Fuck you, you dumbass." You pussy, you sheep, you failure of existence in planet Earth? No, I said, I didn't say anything. I scrolled past.
I'm going to say this for the fourth time, I think now. Move on. Please. Like, just fucking move on with your life.
Like, Zach, my impressions.
Oh, my likes and retweets and...
Zach, my analytics.
It doesn't fucking matter. It's an arbitrary number, dude. There's no reason.
Point, we're going to stop using Twitter. We'll move on to something else. What are you going to say, Zach? What's going to happen?
Okay.
But all my likes and my top tweets and stuff.
So what? Bro.
This is great. I love this. This fucking G Fuel is going off.
You found something that it struck a nerve.
I've been digging for this, Zach. I always dig for this type of Zach. I've been waiting for it. This is not Zach's corner. This is Zach's world.
Zach's dwelling. There's no reason, and this goes into multiple different things. There is no reason for why an arbitrary number in comparison to something that you created should quantify the quality of said thing that you created. And that does not qualify to distinguish whether or not you are a good or a bad person. The way that social media works, the way that the internet works, the way that YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, everything, how everything works is it is just based off of the demographic of people that you ended up leaving an impression on. And that could be literally fucking anybody in the world. That has nothing to do with you as an individual person. The things that you create and put out into the fucking ether of the internet, that's no longer you. That is just a thing that you created and just sent off into the universe, and now it's just there for the world to enjoy. That's all it is. That has no connection with you as a person. It is just some stupid fucking thing of me yelling at somebody who was too close to me in a fucking drive-thru, and 700,000 people were like, that's kind of funny. And that's it. That's the extent of it, dude. Like, I don't understand how people can become so emotionally invested in clinging on to a monetary representation of who they are as a person. Because I don't fucking care how many likes I get on a post on Instagram or how many likes I get on a video on YouTube, TikTok, whatever. I don't care. I do it because I enjoy doing it. I just want to take something that I created, put it out into the fucking universe, and just leave it there. And it'll just stay there forever. And I'm okay with that. But that is such a hard thing for some people to understand, because the younger generation of people, us included, we became so emotionally invested in what was going on the internet, because you and I grew up in the age where YouTube was popping off, Facebook was popping off, Instagram became a thing, you know, Twitter became a thing, social medias became prevalent. You know, there were just so many different things popping up in such a short period of time. And then we just ended up taking it and latching onto it. And then it just ended up getting integrated into every single aspect of people's lives. Like, you know, you have groups on Facebook for work, for music, school, everything. Everything can have some type of correlation to social media. And then it just turns into a dick measuring contest between a bunch of people who are trying to act like their lives are so much better than they actually are. You can never compare the way that someone's life is going on their fucking Instagram timeline. You can't compare that to how your life is, because that is just the best it has ever been and the best it will ever be. Because no one wants to post on their social media about all the sad shit that's going on in their life. Like, I'm not going to post a picture of me and my scrubs like, hey, I ran 3 codes today. Like, I'm not going to fucking do that, because no one cares. Not even I care enough to post that kind of shit. The stuff that I post on social media is stuff that I want other people to see. Mm-hmm. Like, I just want people to see the exciting things that are going on in my life. That's it. The things that I post on YouTube, that's me experimenting with new things, trying new things, trying to progress and become better at my craft. And that's it. If people watch it, if people enjoy it, okay, that's cool. But if they don't, who fucking cares? If they leave hate, I don't care. I probably agree with you. It's like, it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter if people don't like what you're doing. It doesn't matter if people are trying to put you down or anything like that. They're trying to put you down because you're doing something that they don't have the fucking balls to do themselves. And I feel like a lot of people don't really realize that. Like, when you post covers on YouTube and then people are sitting there saying like, oh, you sound like shit, tell them to try to fucking do it themselves, because I guarantee you they're not going to. Because it takes a lot of balls to put yourself out there on the internet at all, in any capacity. Mm-hmm. And now we're at the point in our lives where it's like, here, have an audience all the time. Have an audience, try to entertain people all day, every day in your day-to-day life. Try to make your life interesting enough to where people will click like on it. That's not how the fucking world works, dude. It's like, oh my God, we could go down this rabbit hole for fucking ever, but like,
I know.
Dude, it's just, we have become as a society so attached to such arbitrary things and such insignificant things. Like, it's a number on a screen, dude. And I understand wanting to build a community because I do. And, you know, I have like 7,000 people who follow me on TikTok, and I say all the time, why? Like, what are you doing here? Like, what? You know, it's because I don't have any expectations. And if I decide that I want to make better content to be more entertaining for those people, that's a conscious decision that I make. I'm not obligated to do anything. I'm not obligated to change my content so that more people enjoy it. I'm not obligated to do things a certain way because people tell me to. There is no obligation. It is not a mutual agreement. Like, people who watch this show, they're watching it because of us. Like, they are an outside party.
Mm-hmm.
They are outside looking in, seeing what we're doing, you know? And it's like, oh my gosh.
I wonder if I could find it. There it is. I watched this video. First of all, great speech, Zach. I think we need a round of applause. if post Arthur remembers to do this, he will put a plot. He was not going to, but
he's not.
Zach, imagine that I do. Just pretend that I do. You get an applause.
Thank
sound
you.
Effects, okay?
Thank you.
I probably won't. I'm sorry. It's not because it was a bad. It's not because it was a great speech. It was great. It was a great, heartfelt, personal thing, and that felt fantastic. It probably felt fantastic to you. It felt fantastic to listen to, and I want you to know that was fantastic. There is a clapping applaud sound effects. I just forgot to do it. Okay.
It's okay.
I just forgot. That's all it is. If it's not here, if you watch back, don't be like, Arthur, what the fuck? I thought you said no. I just forgot. Okay. But I will try to do a mental note that's going to disappear. I'm not going to write it down because that takes too much energy. Sorry. But just know that there is an imaginary applause right now, but there might not be when this episode comes out.
That's
but
fine.
Right now, and just here we go. Zach, suck my dick. Yeah, you know, there you go. There's for you.
Oh man. Yeah, that definitely took some
Anyways,
stress.
I started watching this YouTuber recently. He started making YouTubes, but apparently he's I didn't know very much, but he's an it's Zach. You know how I mentioned I've been getting into headphones and stuff?
Yeah.
I started dipping into audiophile YouTube.
Oh,
God help me, okay?
God help you.
God help me. I will do my best. But I think I'll probably dip into it as much as probably like keyboards, you know. I'll probably make like one or two. I'll probably buy one really nice headphone, and then I'll call it a day.
A single headphone. Only one
A singular,
ear.
a singular. It's just half. Oh shit! Hit my wire. I was watching this guy, and he is really funny because he's an audiophile guy, and apparently he owns Critical.com. It's Critical, by the way. You may have heard him, maybe not. And he did this video recently, painful audiophile TikToks, and that ended up getting my recommendation somehow. And it might have gotten into a couple of people's recommendations. I don't know. YouTube is magical. Algorithm is magical. Anyways, besides the point, he made this genius video, Zach. I'm going to unmute real quick. Hopefully it's not too loud. He made this genius video called, where's my mouse? The best gaming IEMs. IEMs mean in-ear monitors. So earbuds, right?
Mm-hmm.
He made this genius video. Let's react to it really quick. Zach, I'm going to go to your there you go. Let's see it.
Stop. Use what you want. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Buy whatever you want. Anything works. Use whatever the fuck you want. Please don't lynch me.
So
that's so good. That's so perfect. Why is that such a perfect representation of everything that I was just saying?
In 20 seconds.
Arthur, why did he just sum up my tangent in 20 seconds? What?
And he is like I said, audiophile, YouTube, audiophile. He owns a website. I think he mentioned it in a video, the largest headphone database.
Mm.
And it has graphs and stuff. He uses graphs to bring up his points when his recommendations. There's this profile, this is too muddy, this is too sharp, whatever. And then he makes a video. It's like, but it doesn't fucking matter because you use whatever you want. Who the fuck cares?
Nobody fucking cares.
Nobody fucking cares.
Arthur, no one cares that I have Bose headphones that are a little bit too wubby, and I realized that when you came over to my house.
And nobody fucking cares that I have Sony CD 900 STs. Zach,
They kind of look goofy.
They kind of a little goofy because it's a little small. If it's to the side, here we go. There we go.
There we go.
Cool. All right,
Side
cool.
profile.
Zach, at what point did I ask?
Fucking never.
Zach, ask me if what are those? Do you think those headphones are cool? Okay. Zach, tell me those headphones are cool that you're wearing.
I think these headphones are cool.
I didn't ask.
Okay, cool. I think a perfect way to sum up this episode is we're watching Angel Beats. I'm watching Angel Beats.
And life is too short,
Yeah.
Zach.
Life is too short
to care.
to give a fuck about what headphones someone else is using. Life
Because
is
we're all gonna visit the afterlife or whatever you want to call it. Anyways, who the fuck cares, Zach? Do whatever you want. If you want to own a body pillow, Zach, then get a body pillow. If you want to, if you
dude, okay. All right. I'm gonna do one more little tiny Zach's corner.
Zach corner.
It's gonna be short. Okay.
Ba-doom.
Ba-doom. We need to come up with a Zach's corner song. I think that'd be funny as fuck.
It's so stupid because I mean you just talk anyways. It doesn't matter. But I just called it Zach's corner. You can talk whenever you want. I'm not saying you have to talk during Zach's corner.
No,
I just find it. I just made that so funny. I'm joking, by the way. I don't have him by a leash or anything. Zach, do the thing. Do the trick, Zach. Do the trick.
So I'm gonna sum up everything that we have talked about for the last almost 2 hours. Are you ready?
Okay, here we go.
No one fucking asked. No one cares what you do. You don't have to. You are not obligated to worry about what anyone thinks about what you are doing. It is your choice who you allow to affect the decisions that you make. It is your choice to have any type of response to anything that anyone else does. I am not responsible for your reaction to my actions. You are not responsible for anybody's reaction to your actions. The only thing that you are responsible for is your actions. And just don't be a dick. Like, be nice to people. Fucking treat people how you want to be treated. You know, be a good person.
Zach, I'm at max render distance and I can't find who asked. Zach, we're back from the black and I still can't see who asked.
Nobody asked.
Zach, I'm talking right. Oh, it unmuted. There we go. Audio is back, and I still can't hear who asked.
Because nobody fucking asked.
There's links down below. You can click them if you like.
Yep.
Coffee, Patreon, all that type of stuff. links, social, that type of stuff. Patreon's not ready yet. You can click them if you want, but you don't have to click them if you don't want to.
That's weird. It's
That's
like you
weird.
have a choice.
It's like you have a choice in the internet on the thing.
That's so bizarre.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I didn't think this is where we're going to turn into. Hopefully, next time we could talk about Angel Beats, I guess, because you're about to finish it.
Yep.
So that'll be a fun episode. I think that'll be a. I'm just interested to see what you have to say about it, because it brings up not only, and you're going to find this soon, but it brings up some very similar concepts of what we were just talking about. And it's going to kind of question a little bit about some topics that you may not agree with, but topics that exist no matter whether you agree with it or not. So at the end of the day, I think, shows like Angel Beats, and you're going to figure this out soon. It is a story. It's not real. And it does. And, frankly, maybe it never needed to exist, but it's here. And whether or not you believe in the theme is up to you. But
that's your choice.
It's not necessarily that you need to believe, you need to agree with the theme. If anything, you can disagree with the theme, but you can, it's there for you to think about. That's all. Just to think about before. You may not have never thought of anything like it, that, and maybe not in that way.
Yeah.
So it's time, just think about it, and then you can think about it and then proceed with your life. And that's all. Good morning, good night, everyone. Good night. Night.
Be good people.
And watch anime.
Yeah.
You don't have to if you don't want to.